What's going on, gentlemen? It's your boy Real Bear. I wanted to talk a little bit today about the guardrails of my adventure, where I stay blind, what I'm prioritizing, and when I make concessions for myself to keep things rolling. So first off, I want to start by saying that this is a fun run for me and not a challenge, right? If it was a challenge, I'd never look anything up ever, and I'd be spending weeks on end looking for something like lead for sailing, but that's not why I started playing RuneScape, so I'm okay making a concession there. What's important to me, personally, is that I stay completely 100% blind when I'm tackling quests, learning how to fight bosses, developing my own strategies for minigames, and leveling up different skills. Now, we are on YouTube, and people like to be helpful. I have had a couple things spoiled, but that's inevitable, right? What really matters to me is, can I go into a boss, learn the mechanics myself, get excited for drops that I didn't know were there, and experience some amazing storytelling through the quests of RuneScape as well. And that's the crux of it. Slayer has been really terrible about telling me where to find monsters. There have been some progression blockers like lead for sailing that would be easy to find if I was better at using the map, but end up costing me a lot of time when I could have just looked up their location online and saved myself hours because it isn't related to anything but my own progression of a skill. And then there's unique items like the Abyssal Lantern, where every single different log has a unique effect and unique bonus with the Abyssal Lantern, but when you examine it in game, it just says a lantern from the abyss. There's no real information on what it does. You have to look it up. And I think the main issue with it is that it is an MMO, and it's an older MMO. And the novelty of these back in the day was that it was an online chat room. So the expectation was that if you don't know something, you talk to other players in game or you do some research. The other side of the coin is that every single update for an MMO has an announcement page where they tell you about the update, what's inside, what NPCs to talk to get started. A lot of these small things that, for a player who doesn't have access to those things, they never really would find because there aren't pointers. And that's really been the biggest issue so far that I've had with RuneScape, is that all of that information that I feel like we should have isn't in the game. Now, to give Jagex some credit, the updates they've been doing recently have come leaps and bounds on the information front for new players. It's the only reason I felt comfortable trying Hunter was because the skill guide overhaul came out a little bit after I started playing, told me exactly where to go to get started, who to talk to, what traps did, and what skills interacted with it to let me know how important it was for other things. That is super cool, but for some of these skills, like Slayer, there's still a lot left to be desired in terms of playing blind and not having to rely on the wiki. The wiki holds so much information for players that it's been okay that some of it isn't in the game because there's an expectation that players will use the wiki. When we're not, it creates some issues. So that's where I like to try to meet myself halfway. I'm trying to enjoy this adventure as well, and the main reason I started was for these quests and bosses and finding new unique items and making my own strategies. That's what I like about the game so far. Just having that sense of discovery as I go through the world and seeing it all for the first time is really what I enjoy. So when I hit a brick wall and it's something so small like lead for my vote, I'm going to meet myself halfway and look up where to find that, because at the end of the day, I think that it isn't taking away meaningfully from me doing my quests or my bosses, because it has nothing to do with them. It's for a skill on its own that I'm trying to just progress forward through in pursuit of these quests and these bosses, right? And really it just comes down to that lack of information. So with this not being a challenge run, I'm okay doing that. And that's really what it comes down to for me, gentlemen. Now, we do have a clan, we have a YouTube channel, and people love to be helpful. I appreciate the hell out of it with you guys. And our most recent live stream was me taking out Scurious. We had a really great time with it, and I wanted to get people involved. So for me, I have a hard stop. I don't ever want to get carried when I'm fighting bosses for the first time or doing an event for the first time. It's very important to me that I learn it first before I get involved with others, because that's part of the fun of the game for me and part of the way that I want to get through the game. So I went and I fought Scurious first, learned all of his mechanics. I was very lucky to be able to kill him on my first try, but only after that, and I felt comfortable with it, did I open up the floodgates to then go into a public lobby with a bunch of people from the stream and the clan to fight some Scurious for a while. And as an Iron Man, I couldn't get anything out of it, but it was very fun, and some people got some spines. It was a great time, but it was very important that I went and fought him first myself and learned his mechanics. Now, to shift into something similar, RuneScape's got a ton of plugins, and I think that plugins can be a very helpful tool when used correctly. And that's the differentiator. I would like a plugin to be a tool and not a crutch. When I'm trying out a new minigame for the first time, I like to bring up the Varlamore house thieving, because that's something I do quite a bit. I got very comfortable with that minigame before I even thought about downloading a plugin, because I didn't want the plugin to teach me the minigame. I wanted to learn it first and let the plugin help me be more efficient at it after I got used to it. Final thing I want to touch on are the unique items that drop. I personally find it way more fun when we get a unique item to look up how rare it is so that we can understand how cool of a drop that is, get excited about it, and really celebrate as a group. And part of it is understanding the value of what I got, right? If there's no information about the item that dropped in the game, then to me it's worthless. So I could see a world where I decided not to look up anything about the Abyssal Lantern and it just sits in my bank. An incredible, amazing tool for rune crafting would be nothing more than a trophy for me. In the most recent episode, I was able to find the Staff of Iban with the Iban Blast, and doesn't really tell you why it's good. I know that it's good because it's its own unique spell with its own staff, and eventually come to find out it has charges, but that's all I really knew about it. So for me, I feel it's important that for the fun of the video and for the people who are watching, we look up what it does, we get excited about it, and we learn how to use it, because that's how it becomes impactful in the adventure, and I truly feel like we should have that information in the game, and we don't. It's hard to get excited about something when you don't even know what it is. Those are really my pillars, gentlemen. I ask myself a few questions. Does it have to do with the boss? Does it have to do with a quest? Is it strategic in any way? Or does it spoil the future? And if any of those come back yes, I stay away from it. Because that's encroaching on my fun of the game, and what I feel like a lot of the people who have been watching are enjoying as well. So I hope that Jagex continues to improve the amount of information that we have in the game. It's been very nice to see the updates they've already done. But in the meantime, gentlemen, until the information that we have in-game improves, I'll make concessions with myself here and there, be upfront and honest with you guys about it when I do, and keep the adventure moving. Thank you all for your time and hearing me out. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.